Okay, for question number 1, in what way did your previous knowledge and or other experiences influence your perspective on the issues raised in the documentary?
Well, since I've been in ASL for 3 years, it kind of gave me a background to like how big deaf culture was, because a lot of people aren't aware of it, so that helped me be a little bit more aware and more understanding of like where they stood on their opinions of the cochlear implants and stuff. So.
Okay. I'd only taken 1 semester of ASL, so I didn't really have any background on any of the deaf culture, at least as much as they touched on it in the documentary.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for not, like, knowing more about it, because I think the documentary was super eye-opening, that there's, like, a whole nother world going on that we're all, some of us are kind of naive to.
I just feel like having both the deaf culture and also the hearing culture would benefit the baby Peter or Heather. Mm-hmm. So I feel like having both would have been nice, because he's going to know how to sign and how to hear.
Right. Yeah. Okay, number 2. How would you characterize the Artinian family in general, regardless of hearing status? Comment on family dynamics and relationships. So, I think they were really blunt.
Yes. Yes.
Forward.
Yeah, they all had really strong opinions on it, and they weren't afraid to voice their opinions.
And I think they love each other, but they weren't afraid to say, like, this is what you should do, and this is what I would do, and this is what I expect from you. Like, they're just very loud in opinion and what they want. It's kind of like their way out.
Right.
But I do think they all love each other. Like,
for sure.
Family is obviously a big deal.
Yeah. It was weird that they're so close, but then they also had such varied opinions that it was interesting that they're still able to remain close for the most part.
I agree with that.
But I definitely never questioned the love in the family.
Right.
It was
for
there.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. It was just...
Well, it was out of concern.
With like deaf culture, they're so blunt about everything, because like everything's visual, so they just talk bluntly to each other. So that kind of carried over into their family dynamic on how they talked.
I just feel like they could have also like said things differently in a way that they wouldn't hurt the deaf culture so easily, because you could interpret something completely different. And I just feel like they could have said it differently, but I think they're a strong, like, united family.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, in what ways can you personally identify with Heather's parents? What similar or relatable experiences have you had or have witnessed that can allow you to empathize with Heather's parents? I think I can see, like, the fear that they have. I think that they love Heather, but they also, like, want what's best, and they have in their own mind what they want. And I think my parents can sometimes do that, where, like, they want what they want, and if I don't follow in line with that, they kind of act out of anger or frustration. But it's, even if I'm, like, right and they're wrong, it's just sometimes parents, like, only want what they think is best for their child.
I see it in one way.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I could, like, go in the opposite direction with you, because I grew up speaking Spanish, and then when we moved to the U.S., I started going to an American school. So my parents as well were scared that I was going to lose the Spanish. So they were adamant of being, like, Spanish only at home and English only at school. And that way I wouldn't, like, lose either language. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Heather's parents were, like, scared that she was going to lose deaf culture. I mean, I guess my parents were like that too. But now they know that it was the best for my future. Yeah. Being bilingual.
Weren't they, like, excited for you?
Yeah, because, like my mom struggles a little bit more, so I could translate for her. Mm-hmm. And my dad knows it really well. Like, he speaks really, really well in English and everything. And, like, seeing my older brothers grow and stuff, like, they have successful jobs and stuff just because they're bilingual.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is scary at first. Yeah. But once you see the outcome, I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to see both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. Mm-hmm. In what ways could you personally identify with baby Peter's parents? What similar or relatable experience have you had or have you witnessed that can allow you to empathize with Peter's parents?
I haven't really had a personal experience. Like, I haven't been around, like, deaf children at all. But I feel like if I were the parent, I'd be like, okay, I want to give them the best outcome possible in life. Mm-hmm. So I would want to do anything I could to help them, and I feel like cochlear implant would be understandable for a baby who is deaf.
I can say, so I used to work at a coffee shop, and I remember there's this one customer who came in, and he like was deaf, so then he was signing and just like watching other people kind of stare at him, and they didn't know what to do, and stuff like that. Thankfully I had 1 semester of ASL, so I was able to like say some things, and I got him a piece of paper and stuff, but I could just see like the frustration in his eyes that like he wasn't able to communicate with me because I didn't know. So like their parents had seen that for Peter's parents, they had experienced other deaf people and seen their frustration, so it's pretty obvious that they wouldn't want the same thing for their child to have that struggle.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay. Oh, it's still going. Oh, gosh.
Okay, what was your impression of the professionals shown in the film? The SLPs, audiologists, teachers, etc.
They all were, I don't know, very professional, accepting of either one.
Very understanding.
Yeah, they didn't put in their opinion.
Yeah, they're very neutral. They went with where the parents wanted to go. Like, if the parents saw one thing, they would side with them. But I think they also did a good job of giving their opinion and, like, voicing what they needed to voice without being biased or trying to make... Yes, only offering one treatment plan. And I think that's super important.
I like how, like, the SLP would be like, okay, well, we could go to a speech school and see the kids who have cochlear implants and how they're, like, doing with speech. And then how they would take them with another school and be like, this is a deaf school. And, like, just to see the differences, like, it was like, super smart of them. For them to see both sides. So that's very professional.
I did think at the schools, though, they were slightly biased, obviously, to what they were doing at the school. So if it was the hearing school or, like, this where they're teaching speaking, they were pretty obviously biased towards, like, don't use ASL in the classroom and stuff like that. And I think that was what was kind of upsetting to the parents, because they really wanted to make sure that ASL and deaf culture was still incorporated.
Yeah. But it's good that they learned that early on, like the SLPs were able to give them that glance into what the school systems are like, so they're not blind to it before they send their child in. Which is good.
Right, exactly.
Okay. What insight did this video give you into oral and manual communication methodologies?
I think it shows how important ASL is to deaf culture, and I mean, obviously it's their form, it's same as English too. English speakers, you know.
I thought it showed there wasn't a right or wrong to either like way of thinking, and it was just a difference in opinion, and oral and manual are both
equally as important.
Languages and
I think it was cool to see, like, just how efficient each one could be. Like, if a child was using one or the other, they were very good at it, and they did it well, and they were able to communicate clearly. So, like you were saying, there is no right or wrong, because they were still able to communicate, which is the point of it all. So that's good. Okay. What insight did this film give you into the deaf culture? Were you surprised by anything? I would say for me, one of the most, like, eye-opening scenes in the documentary was when they were sitting at the picnic table, all signing to each other about debating the cochlear implant and
that was crazy.
Other topics, and just seeing how passionate they were about their culture and how determined they were to not lose it. And I just thought that was super eye-opening, because, I mean, we're passionate about things that we do in our culture, and it's not wrong of them to want to preserve all that they've ever known. And I can see why they would be scared by cochlear implants or new therapies coming out, or things that seem to kind of take away their culture. So that was cool.
I agree with you. Like, I just thought they were, like, really stubborn about it, which is fine. It's respectful, but it would have been nice for them to, like, give an opportunity for Peter's parents, for them to explain why they want that for him. And also, Peter's parents could have said, like, hey, he's not going to lose it. He's still going to learn how to sign. So I just feel like it was a little too strong.
Well, and I was shocked at how extreme they went. Like, someone even said, oh, like, they must not fully, like, love their child.
Yes.
They're doing that.
Yes.
I was like, oh
That
my
hurt a little
gosh.
bit.
Or that they
I
were
know.
being abusive.
Yes.
I thought that was so strong, such a strong
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And some of them kind of seem more open to it than others. Like one of the guys was like, you know, cochlear implants would have been different 20 or 30 years ago when we needed them. We might have wanted them more,
Right.
as
Yeah.
like back then technology wasn't as great. So some of them kind of are more on board, but other
Mhm.
people are just, like you said, stubborn about it.
Yeah.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure. Right.
What kind of emotional responses did you have to this program? I just believe that, like, after seeing the whole film, that given, if you have the opportunity or the chance to give your child both things because you want the best for their future, then I would definitely do that. So for me, in the middle of the movie, I was kind of like frustrated with Heather's parents,
Yeah.
just because, I mean, give her the chance. Like, why
Yeah.
don't you just give her the chance? So I was annoyed by that, but totally respected their opinion. But that's what I would have done if it was my situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
There was one part where the mom was explaining to Heather, like, remember we made this decision, and Heather even said, I thought you made the decision. And she's like, no, we made it together, remember? And Heather's like, okay.
Right.
It was just, I was frustrated too. I'm like, okay, they're not even giving it a chance, you know? Their
Right.
daughter's obviously really wanting to communicate with her friends, but she can't, and they're not, like, giving her the ability to.
Well, and at that age that she's so easily influenced by
Yeah.
both sides, you could tell it was something that she really wanted. But then if her mom and dad are saying no, then like she's obviously gonna really take their opinion into account because she was
Yeah.
so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think sometimes I was really frustrated because I, like, didn't doubt that they all loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
But at times I was like, wow, like, if this is really what you want for your kid, or, like, if this is what your child wants, like, you should let them do it. Like, you should give them this opportunity, and you just kind of, I just kind of wanted to, like, speak up for the child
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes,
Well,
for
it's
sure.
almost like they were against hearing. Like,
Yeah.
which is like,
Uh-huh.
they work so hard not to be looked down upon for being deaf, but then I felt like they don't like hearing
They're
people.
putting
Yeah,
us
that's what
down.
I
Yeah.
thought
I was
too,
like-
where they're like, why don't people accept us? But then they're
Yes.
also very unaccepting of hearing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which
it was
is-
just weird.
I don't know.
And I think it was the sister-in-law was getting super defensive, like, do you think we're stupid? Like, do you think
Yeah.
we're dumb because we
Right.
can't speak? And
It's like,
And-
no, that's not the point.
Right.
no, she was just saying, if I can give my child the opportunity,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
wouldn't I? And I just,
Right.
like, there wasn't a whole lot of open-mindedness
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
Definitely.
I agree.
Okay. Some of the deaf members of the family expressed concern for the cochlear implants would eventually make deafness extinct. Do you think it's a real danger for the future? Why or why not?
I don't think so, because it's such a deep-rooted culture that it's
Right.
not just one invention is not going to just rip it out. Like, it's not going to go away. I don't know.
Right.
People are so invested in it. Like, that's who they are. So,
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people are born deaf, and it's
Yeah.
out of their control, so they automatically have to learn sign language in order to communicate with others.
Right.
So I don't think the deaf culture will ever be extinct.
Mm-mm.
But then the decision of making the cochlear implant or not, well, that's
Mhm.
all on them. But even though if they did, I don't think it'll be extinct.
Right.
Just because they still need to communicate with those who don't have the implant.
Right. Well, and if it's something they're passionate about, it's not something that they're gonna lose. Unless if they just like completely got rid of it, even then it's still something that had been a part of them, even
Yeah,
if
that
they
they
can
identify
hear.
with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the second part.
Second part. Okay, what factors seem the most important to Heather's parents in their decisions about cochlear implantation, communication modes, and their children's education?
I think when schooling became more of an issue, that's when they were really more interested in it. Where like, how is it gonna affect her like communication in school and friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think she really wanted like her child to be able to be social and
Right.
have every opportunity and that was a huge deciding factor because she
Right.
just wanted her child to be able to experience everything her child wanted to be
Yes.
experiencing and not let anything hold her back.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that was important.
Yeah, because they even asked, I thought it was interesting, they asked one of the fathers who was deaf, and they were like asking him about his childhood, and he's like, well, I mainly kept to myself, and he was like, that was fine for me, and I think it was kind of eye-opening that, like, that was the extremes of, like, it could have their child be by themselves, or...
That made me really sad
know.
when
Yeah.
he was talking about how, like, he
Yeah.
never said he was lonely, but he also probably didn't know what it was like to have lots
Exactly.
of friends or be on a
Yeah.
sports team, and
Mhm.
that, like, kind of broke my
I
heart a
know.
little bit because he was never given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what, you know,
That's-
Heather
yeah.
sees,
Yes.
but the parents can't because that's all they've known. But
Right.
Yeah.
no one wants their child to be alone on the
Right.
playground or
Yeah.
not
Well,
have
and like
friends.
he said, he was like, it was fine for me, but it's because he didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Heather does. Same
And then
as
you could have
Peter,
seen
yeah.
it. Sorry, you could have seen in her eyes the eagerness of like
Mhm.
being like able to hear. So
She was so excited.
Yeah.
Yes, like playing volleyball and like
Yeah.
all that
making a
stuff.
team.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her confidence level seemed really
Yeah.
high.
I don't think it was ever like a question of would she not be able to do anything. The mom
Right.
just wanted to give her every opportunity to do whatever
Yeah.
she wanted
Exactly.
to. Okay, how did watching the follow-up film influence your opinions, particularly the ones you expressed in questions 6, 7, and 8?
So those ones were about like deaf culture.
Oh yeah, and the ways of
Stuff, yeah.
communication. And the emotional response.
So, I mean, in the second part, even though most of the kids had cochlear implants, they're still signing and
Yeah.
seemed
Yeah.
to be very a part of deaf culture, and their family dynamic was still strong.
Yeah.
I think I was excited just to see.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was excited too for Heather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me less frustrated that they're like, okay, they finally gave it a chance. They realized the like benefits from it
Right.
and how much Heather really wanted it. So
And
Yeah.
the success that had come so far.
yeah,
And also like just like getting the cochlear implant and seeing the results like
Mm-hmm.
united the family again
Mhm.
after like those
Exactly.
3 yeah. So like one little thing like brought everybody together.
I think like from an emotional reaction standpoint, like it gave me a lot of empathy because the whole process was such like a long process. I mean, years,
It
and
was
that's
so dramatic.
yes. And I mean, not every family situation looks like that, but I'm sure there are a lot of similarities between that and like other families, and just seeing how much of a life changing event it is, and how long it takes, and everything that goes
Mhm.
into it.
What other thoughts, comments, or questions were raised by either or both films? I just really like the ending. It was actually a happy ending,
Right.
Yeah.
and I just feel that they gave their children the best type, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
the best type of opportunity for both cultures,
Yeah.
Right.
and that even that Heather's mom saw how happy her daughter was that she even did it
Right.
herself.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to experience
Right,
that.
exactly.
Obviously, the curiosity of being able to hear paper fall or whatever it is,
Yeah.
or your mom's voice, or your grandparents' voice, anything.
Yeah.
So I was just really happy at the end that from the beginning I didn't see an outcome, like a happy outcome, and then
Yes.
it just had a complete 360 turnaround.
I know.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny how Heather's mom went from like talking about how I don't care to hear music and I don't need to hear the rain because I can see it. But then once she got the cochlear implant, she's like, "Oh, I love hearing." Like, I'm like, okay, now you understand.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
I definitely
Just
think
cool.
like a bridge was crossed, and if that can
Right.
happen in a family where it's kind of like 2 generations divided by
Mhm.
like new technology and then trying to preserve the culture, if a family can do it, like I would like to think that the rest of the world could eventually do
Yes.
it. And you could integrate deaf culture and cochlear implants or whatever new technologies come together. And,
Right.
and I thought that was cool that if a family could do it, maybe everybody could do it.
Yeah.
Well, and even not that cochlear implants are always the answer,
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
that they are able to bridge the hearing culture and the deaf culture,
Yeah.
no matter what it
Yeah,
is.
just that they can accept both.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
they seem so standoffish at the beginning, but then at the end it was really integrated.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Perfect.
Yay.
Yay!
Oh yeah.